Hello, my name is Jennifer and welcome to my tutorial on building positive character values in The Sims 4, which requires the Parenthood game pack. Now I'm going to be doing this tutorial in two parts. The first part is going to go over the 5 character values that there are, some advantages of having them be positive when you're a young adult, and then some just random things that can affect the character values, chance cards, and things that come up. The second part will just go over in more detail of what the children and parents can do to try and build the 5 character values. So, to start with, there are 5 character values. They are manners, responsibility, conflict resolution, empathy, and emotional control. Now, what I'm going to be focusing on, as I said, is how to get them to be positive, and when they are positive, that means that they're going to be in this little area up here. One other thing is that there are hints and tips in like the UI here. If you hover over it, that does give you some information about things that can help with them. But so to be positive, they need to be in the green and all the way over that line, and you will get an in-game notification when they are positive or when they fall out of the range of being positive. What happens is if they are above that little line and they are positive, your sim, when they age up to young adult and they're positive, they will get a specific trait, and it actually tells you right there what the trait is going to be. And I'm focusing on the positive. So for manners, it will be good manners. For responsibility, it will be responsible. For conflict resolution, it will be mediator, and empathy will be compassionate, and emotional control will be just emotional control. And, it'll be the negative if you get them into the red over on this side instead. So, what are the advantages of having them be positive when they are young adults? I have to say that there are 2 in particular that I find especially useful as young adults, and that is to have good manners and to be responsible. The other ones are, to me, nice to have, and there are some advantages, but they are not major advantages. Manners, if you have good manners, it gives you can do a polite introduction. And that, along with any other friendly, nice introduction, will give your sim a boost to the friendship when they greet them that way when they are a young adult or older. If your sim is responsible, and this is my big one, this is my favorite one to get, especially if you're going to put your sims into a career. The advantages around being responsible and having a career are huge. When your sim is at work, they will get special chance cards that relate to being responsible, and you will either get usually a medium boost to your sim's performance or just an okay boost to their performance. You will not get a negative boost to their performance if you get the Parenthood responsible chance cards. You can still get the regular chance cards that come with the various careers, which do have positive and negative consequences, but you're not going to get them as often. You're more likely, I find, to get these ones that come with Parenthood from the fact that they are responsible, and they're really a huge help in building your career more quickly. The other huge thing that I love about having the responsible trait is that, I'll give you an example. The 2 parents here, they don't have the traits because I created them as young adults and I didn't cheat to get them the traits. So the dad has an actual job where he goes off to work. The mom is a freelancer, so it has no impact on her. But he has to have a daily task of studying components, and his is complete because he did it. But what happens is if you actually have the responsible trait, that daily task is automatically completed for you, except there are exceptions. When you start a career, it's not completed. So if you want to complete it, you need to do the task. And when your sim gets the branch to say one way or the other, it's kind of as if they started a new career and they have to do the daily task again if they want it marked as complete. But when they come home the next day from going to work, it'll be marked as complete. It only happens on the first day of a career or the first day after they, right after they get a promotion. That to me is huge because they don't have to spend their time, especially with careers where the activities don't really help them very much. I don't mind having to write when you are a writer, and I don't mind painting when they're a painter, because they can get a benefit out of doing that. But if you are a chef and you've maxed your cooking skill and you have to make 3 dishes to complete the task, like every day, because they usually work like all weekend long, that's a lot of food to have in the house. I mean, you can do single meals, but still, to me, I always was like, I don't want to do all that cooking. I tend to make them go the mixology route because I can sell them, but still, it just means they have time to focus on other things. That, of course, doesn't help as much with certain careers. Like, she's a freelancer, so it wouldn't matter whether she was responsible or not because it has no impact. And if you do the active careers and you go to work with your Sims, they don't get that, and they don't have daily tasks with the active careers anyways. But if you do send them to work on their own, they do get the nice pop-ups. That's the nice thing. The other thing that happens that when they have a responsible trait, that's that they will automatically work hard. They will choose that tone when they are at work. I actually try to watch, and if their performance is like, you'll see he is pretty close to excellent. He doesn't have the trait, like I said. But if they get to excellent, I'll just switch them back to normal because they will lose more fun and whatnot, and be a bit more tense from working hard. I did read somewhere that they weren't supposed to get that way if they were responsible, but I can't say that I've really noticed a big difference when my Sims have the trait and they work hard. They still get a bit tense and their fun goes down. So if I find they don't need it, I will switch them back to normal. Whereas with my regular Sims, in his case, I would have him work hard and switch him back to, I would normally switch him from normal to working hard instead. So that can be a good thing and it can be a not so good thing. The other thing that they get is they have the ability to teach others responsibility, which is just sort of a minor interaction and more so they get a whim for it, and that can help. So like I said, that's, to me, responsible is my favorite. Manners is a very close second favorite in terms of what you get. And just switching back over here. Now, my third favorite, more because it's fun, is emotional control, and it's supposed to help them calm down more quickly. Maybe my Sims don't get that emotional most of the time, and I usually find it doesn't take that long to calm them down in front of a mirror, but they do have the various things that you can do as a teen to calm down. You can do them as a young adult if you age up with that trait. Empathy lets you share Sims' burdens, which probably helps if your kids are having extreme emotions. You can maybe help calm them down a bit more quickly. I can't say I notice that having that much, but that could be a plus. But you can share it with anybody. I have had my Sim take on the negative emotion so that they have actually had that negative emotion themselves, but normally I just find it helps calm down the other Sim. And then conflict resolution, if you have like a bad argument or do something, it actually is easier to apologize. And I think you can mediate the forums if you get the conflict resolution one, which is just kind of a fun thing. And sometimes they'll get a whim. They'll get whims that relate to being, having the mediator or being compassionate. They want to share a Sim's burden, or they want to mediate the forums when you have those traits. So it's another way to earn some more whim points. So those are the things that come with that. And as I said, the ones I find the most useful is responsible, and then barely second most useful is manners, but they're pretty close. I like them both a lot. Now, the other thing I said I would talk about is the fact that there are some random elements to getting these up and down, and that is the chance cards that you can get in the game. So one thing I usually like to do is I like to make sure that if I can, I try and get any young adults and up in the household to work on their parenting skill. I have them read the parenting skill book for the first, 2-3 levels just to get it started. It doesn't work very much beyond that, because when you get the pop-ups, if they're level 9, you will see all of the possibilities and you'll see the positive and the negative outcomes so that you can pick which one suits what you want to work on the most, or perhaps that'll affect something that you think is easier to work on that they can get back more easily. And I'll show an example of a pop-up that I know that the teen in the house gave at one point so that you can see that. The other time you can get some and obviously those can be either from the teen asking advice or a child asking advice, or from getting phone calls. Any young adult in the house can be asked advice by any children or teens in the house, and any young adult, or up, I should say, in the house can get the phone call from the school to ask for those things too. So that's why I like to, if anybody's in the house who's a young adult, I will have them work on the parenting skill to try and, hopefully offset the chance of being forced to pick one that might affect something you don't want affected as much. And even if you remember them all, if you're low enough parenting, you'll only be like, here it is, and you just have to pick it. And you don't get a choice at all at the lower levels. So that's another thing that's there. Because any sim in the house who's young adult or up can get that, I also make sure that any young adult or up sim will adopt the rest of the teens and children as care dependents, even the toddlers, because then they can discipline and encourage them to offset when they see some negative things. The other chance card you can get is when you go volunteering, which obviously is one of the things that helps with building empathy. But you can get random chance cards and they pick one or the other, and it's random what the result's going to be. Sometimes, one answer will work out, and if you do the same answer next time, it could be a negative thing. And they can impact the character values. They can also impact learning. They can also impact their mood when they come home. So those are the things that are sort of the random elements. Those, unfortunately, are completely random. They're like the chance cards from work that you normally get, not the chance cards you get from being responsible. But the pop-ups you get from a child or a teen randomly going and asking advice, you can't initiate this ever. It is just a random thing in the game, or the phone calls from school coming in. So it's a very good thing to get the parenting skill up. Level 8 at least unlocks all of the 3 options that you can have and shows you what the positive impact is. You do not see the negative impact, but 9 will show you everything, or 10, obviously. So that's kind of it for the brief overview of the 5 character values and the advantages of having them be positive when they age up to young adult. In the next part, I'll go over how to actually build them and make them positive, and that will be coming out, around the time that this video is ending, so you'll be able to move right over, and I will have a link here to it. But do let me know if you have any suggestions for any other tutorials. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye! This has been Jennifer. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them below. I'd love to see them. If you liked the video, please leave a like. And if you'd like to see more videos of challenge, let's plays, tutorials, and occasional speed builds, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks very much.